Let's have that banana, or let's have that piece or that orange, so we can get that simple sugar to break down in our systems very quickly and also be another energy source through that tough workout. But also what we're saying is, boy, we know in a half hour, 45 minutes, or whenever your workout commences, we need to get that insulin response. We need to trigger that insulin. Let's have that carbohydrate source right after, so we're actually starting to prep it and starting to build up that insulin trigger. We've gone ahead and now we've done our workout. And now we know, okay, now we're in the meats and potatoes of it. We're in that time frame after workout. We've degraded our muscle. We've broken down our muscle. How are we going to, what type of food are we going to get into our muscles so we can repair it as quickly as possible? There's a lot of different, one thing to kind of mention, and it's kind of just coming into my mind now, is there's a lot of different companies, a lot of different marketing techniques that are promoting post-workout, and I'm going to get into that just briefly because that becomes another issue at hand. But going back into it and saying, okay, we got this 60 to 90, we need something immediate. We're at the gym, we're at the studio, we're at home, what are we going to go for? Well, we know it needs to be pre-digested. So whole food really becomes a problem at that point. So if we're having meat and potatoes and we say, well, I'll have chicken and rice again, well, we're looking at that having a process 2 to 3 hours, up to 4 hours of digestion. We missed that window. So now we're back into, okay, what are we going to have that's pre-digested? And I'm going to go over a couple of different things here, and we'll go from there. One of the things that we can look at, one opportunity is food bars. I have over here a Luna Sunrise bar. There's a lot of different bars on the market, but a food bar is one thing that's convenient. You can put it into your gym bag, open it up, and get it consumed. It's not the best, and I'll get into the best, why liquid might be actually the best because of its pre-digestibility. But this is part pre-digested, but it's going to take a little bit slower of a time or longer of a time to digest for your muscles to get used to it. But that gets into my last thought as well, as the marketing hype. And in today's market, everything is about protein. Protein, 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 low carbs, low carbs, low carbs. And I brought this out here, and this is a popular supplement on the market, and this is one that, you know, if you go on to their website, and this is a very common supplement along these lines, these post-workout meals, is advocating consume this right after a workout. The problem with that, when I look at it, and I look at the ingredients on these, and this one in particular has 300 calories. And 300 calories is a good level. You want to be 300-400 calories after a workout. But when I look at the macronutrient breakdown, I have 32 grams of protein and I have 16 grams of carbohydrates. Right there I have a problem. I'm at a 2-to-1 ratio, but I'm at 2 parts protein, 1 part carbohydrate. And then on top of it, I'm looking at a total fat of 12 grams. So we're looking at this supplement. This supplement, one of the reasons it's marketed is for post-workout supplement, post-workout recovery. We're looking at it and say, well, that's going to take a little bit longer to digest in the body, with a high level of total fat into it. And also, if we're looking at insulin and the role insulin has to play with this, and we want to trigger that insulin level and spike that insulin level so it can pull the carbohydrates, the glucose, and pull the amino acids from the protein to get it into the body cell, this is just the opposite of what we would need. It's at a 2-to-1 ratio, but the opposite end. This one might not be the best type of supplement to trigger that insulin response to increase the efficiency of, or optimizing that metabolic window of opportunity. With that being said, I go back to the Luna bar. When I look at the ingredients of the Luna bar, I'm at protein at 8 grams, total carbohydrates at 9, and total fat at 3. So here, looking at this bar, I have a little bit better of a ratio. I'm at 8 protein, 29 carbs, so I'm almost at a 3 parts carb, 1 part protein. So I'd say, boy, this could have a chance to trigger that insulin, push the carbohydrates, push the protein in the body. Be prepared and look at it when you pick up a food bar. If you're picking up, and there's nothing against this supplement or this bar or that bar, but if you're picking up a bar, know what the role of that bar is. Some of them are great meal replacements. Some of them are great for satiety purposes. They all have their roles in your health and fitness, but just be leery of that. When you first look at the label and it's got this sexy label on it, and it's got, you know, building muscle faster, well, I need to trigger my insulin. I need 1.5 to 4 parts carbohydrates to 1 protein. I got to look at that. And I got to tell you, a lot of the things on the market are going to be just the opposite of what you need. And that holds true for food bars as well. So what are, that's the most common food bars and ready-to-drink shakes or shakes that you mix up at home and bring into the gym or the studio or at home. And if I had a choice, I would prefer liquid. Not this particular supplement because of the ratio, but I would prefer more of a liquid mix versus a food bar. One idea that I have is that you could have, let's say you needed the protein, you could have a pure protein supplement that might have 20 grams of protein in it. You put a scoop of it. Most of the common proteins or whey proteins on the market have about 20 grams of protein. And then you could mix in milk. You could mix in two cups of milk. You could put in a banana and put in some berries. All of a sudden you would look at it and say, okay, if my protein's at 20, I need, well, if I add some milk, I'm going to put a little bit more protein in it, but I need to make sure that I put enough carbohydrates. I put some berries or I put some bananas into it that I can get 60 to 65 grams of carbohydrates. When you get into that mixture and you get into making your own shakes, just be aware of the calorie count too. Try to stay within 300-400 calories, and also it's always dependent on your goal of, are you trying to gain muscle, are you trying to lose body fat, where do you need to be calorically. You certainly wouldn't want to have, if your goal was to lose body fat and your caloric necessity was 1,200 calories, you certainly wouldn't want a shake that consisted of 600 or 700 calories, even if it was at the proper percentages. So keep that in mind as well when you're looking at that. Over here, I have this, white milk and Hershey syrup, and everyone's probably going, Hershey syrup, that's crazy, that's all, that's as bad as it can get. But if you think about it, when we're looking at it from a metabolic window and right after that workout, we need to get that sugar level spike so we can trigger the insulin response, so we can get the carbohydrates, we get the protein in. Well, you could do something where you have two cups of milk, which would give you approximately 16 grams of protein, and it'll give you 26 grams of carbohydrates. Then add in a tablespoon of Hershey syrup at 24 grams of carbohydrates and 0 protein. Well, all of a sudden you have 16 grams protein and you have almost 48 to 50 grams of carbohydrates. You're at that ratio again. That would be consisted of 3 parts carbohydrates to 1 protein. So that's this chocolate milk, especially from a economic standpoint. If you're not interested in spending $2, $3, $4 a serving on a workout shake or a food bar or something like that, good old milk and chocolate syrup at a much less price will do some work for you as well. You see the banana that I have out here. You can do combinations of banana in a food bar. If, let's say, I was working on a shake like this, I might say, boy, let's say it's a vanilla mix, I might put it into grape juice. I might add grape juice so the grape juice can can add in the additional carbohydrates or fruit to this to make it up. But you have to be thinking my carbohydrate sources have to be pretty simple. Fruit, pre-digested liquids or food bars or fruit juices are probably optimal for that. On the same side of the coin there's a lot of the carbohydrate drinks that are claiming for recovery purposes as well. You just have to make sure where's the protein in that mix. So you can't go with something that's just a pure carbohydrate like a Gatorade or a fruit juice and say, boy, that's got 25 or 30 or 50 grams of carbohydrates, I'm good to go. Where's the amino acids? Because the body is demanding, not only do I need the glucose, the stored carbohydrates, but I also need amino acids, which are the building blocks of protein, which are the building, helping repair process of building muscle. Okay? In conclusion, you see, I got a little bit wordy in there, went through a little bit of science. We talked about the metabolic window of opportunity. We talked about the role insulin has, as a primary hormone in helping the recovery process. But in the end, I really hope you get the point that nutrition is a tough aspect. It's a tough monster to kind of get a hold of. And if I had one request out of all of my clients, is at least get the pre and post workout meal proper, and that will make the workout, because I know you guys are trying and your effort is high in the studio and in the gym and you're really wanting to get those results. Make sure you bookend it. Make sure you bookend it with a good food meal before and a good pre-digested meal after, so that you can optimize the workout that you did, optimize your performance so that you can start feeling stronger, looking better, and most importantly, actually you are stronger at that time.